So how many of you all think that you're a busy person? You got a lot of stuff to do, right? All of us are fairly busy. We have a lot of things to accomplish. So tell me some of the things that you have to accomplish in a given day or a week. And I'll write it up here. This is a brainstorming activity. Ryan?
So you mean besides what you already have?
Okay, sorry, I should have explained this. I put this down because I didn't know if you all would come up with the 4 quadrants. In the real presentation, I would just sort of add these as we were going along because I wanted something for each quadrant. Okay, sorry, I should have explained that. Okay, so this is blank theoretically. Yes.
Football practice.
Okay. Thank you.
What? I got candy?
Yep.
Hey, Becky, I got candy.
Chores around the house.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Chores around the house, okay.
Feed the dog.
Work.
Meeting.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Fix dinner.
All right.
I'll take BJ's.
It's already off.
Here. Take care of my brother and sister.
What? I'm
Take
sorry.
care of my brother and sister.
Okay.
Text my boyfriend 5,000 times a day.
Only 4,000.
I know.
Ignore my girlfriend's phone call.
Right.
Okay. All right, so you guys are busy people, right? So the challenge is, how do we fit all of this in, right? How do we prioritize our tasks? How do we figure out what we need to do now, what we can do later? And we believe that before you can really prioritize your tasks, you need to learn to organize them and categorize them so you know how to put them in order, right? And this is a skill that we think is going to take you really far in life, no matter what you do after high school, no matter what career field you enter. Time management skills, that's something we all need, right? In order to be sane, in order to be successful. So one of the methods of categorizing and organizing your tasks is the 4-quadrant method. Now, did you all receive a worksheet when you walked in the room? All right, so these represent the 4 quadrants of time management. There's some examples that we have there for you just to use as a guide, but there's a lot of blank space, so please use that to take notes, write down examples, any ideas that you may have, okay? So we're going to start with quadrant 1. And quadrant 1 includes tasks that are both important and urgent. Can anyone tell me the difference in importance and urgency? Anybody know the difference? Becky?
Urgent would be like more time bound.
Awesome. So if something's important, we have to do it, right? If we don't do it, something significant will happen. But if something's urgent, there's a time constraint. So urgency adds a time constraint. Yeah, if you volunteer, if you give us an example, one of these 2 gentlemen will give you a piece of candy, right? So quadrant 1 is activities that are important and urgent. So these are things that have to be done today. So let's go back to our list that we created. Does anybody have an idea of what on this list would fall into quadrant 1?
Homework.
Homework. Okay, why is homework important and why is it urgent?
Because there's usually a deadline to it, and you have to get it done.
Right, so your teacher doesn't say to you, oh, just turn it in whenever, right? You have to get it done by a certain time. Excellent. Is there anything else on this list that would fall into quadrant 1? Anybody?
Maybe feeding a dog.
Okay, why is that important and why is it urgent?
So they need to eat to live.
They gotta eat just like we do, right? Perfect.
And I have to make dinner. If I don't, I'm in big trouble.
Okay.
Work.
It's important. Work? Why is work important and urgent?
Because you have to go and you have to be there on time.
You gotta be there on time, right? So we'll put make dinner and work. Good job. So some other things that would fall into quadrant 1 are things like crisis situations, something that you absolutely have to do and you have to do it now. Does everyone have a good understanding of quadrant 1? Does that make sense? All right, so we're going to move on to quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 are tasks that are important, but they're not urgent, okay? So this includes things like relationship building, taking time for yourself, personal time. You need to do these things and they're important, but you don't necessarily have to do them today. So, what on this list would fall into quadrant number 2?
Ignore my girlfriend's phone call.
Okay. Are you sure that would fall in quadrant number 2?
Mm-hmm. It's not urgent. So it probably
There's no
is
time.
important.
Okay, we'll see. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, what else?
You spend time with family
Spending time with your family, excellent. So you're building those relationships with your family, right? It's important, but it's not necessarily urgent. You don't have to do it today. Excellent.
There's no timeline on it.
Right.
So that would be like texting my friends or boyfriend.
Yes. Especially if you're texting about something like when you're going to meet up with them, something like that. It's important. You should probably do it, but you don't have to do it in the middle of class, right? You can wait till after class. It's not urgent. All right, does everyone understand quadrant number 2? I'm so sorry, my voice is so nicely used. Okay. Quadrant number 3. This one's a little trickier. This is tasks that are urgent, but they're not necessarily important. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Any interruptions that may come up that you just sort of deal with to get them out of the way, that's going to fall in quadrant number 3. So if you're completing a task, if you're hanging out with your friends, or you're working on homework, and your mom calls you, not that any of you would do this, but maybe you'll answer the phone just to sort of get her off the phone, right? That would fall into quadrant number 3. This also includes maybe just a fun activity you want to go to that's time constrained. So if your favorite comedian is going to be at the comedy club at 9 o'clock tonight, nothing significant will happen if you don't go, right? So it's not necessarily important, but it's urgent because there's a strict time frame, okay? So what would fall into quadrant number 3?
Watching The Bachelor.
Watching The Bachelor, absolutely.
What a stupid show.
It's not, I agree. It's not important, but there's a time
It's not
frame.
important.
Now the Bachelor's in couples therapy.
It is, it's a waste.
On VH1.
It is a waste of.
Oh, are they?
Oh, it's
Oh, yeah.
the dumbest show I've ever seen. I've only seen it once. Sporting events.
Absolutely. So nothing significant, no significant repercussions if you don't go to that basketball game, right? What season
Right,
are we
unless
in?
you play.
Right, that's true. But if you're just attending, absolutely. All right.
What about the laundry?
Yeah, absolutely. So you got to do the laundry. Unless you're at a very, very critical time and you have nothing to wear the next day, it's not right. Absolutely. Okay. So we're moving on to quadrant number 4. Quadrant number 4 are tasks that are not urgent and they're not important. So these are our time eaters. Have any of you ever heard of structured procrastination?
Yes.
You don't tell me about it, Jameson? Have you heard this presentation
I
before?
haven't been able to get around to that.
Well, it's when I decide to clean my apartment and the kitchen, the bathroom, and my room when I should be doing homework.
He
Right.
deserves 2 candies.
He does.
Yeah, bring him 2 candies. Good job, Jameson.
He studied before he
So have any of you ever experienced structured procrastination before? Maybe you have a huge assignment due and you decide, like Jameson said, to clean your apartment. And you're sort of tricking your brain into thinking that you're being productive, but you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing, right? So other things that fall in quadrant 4 are just general time eaters, like excessive napping maybe, when you don't really need to take a nap, watching Netflix. So let's refer back to our list. What are some activities on our list that would fall into quadrant 4? Anybody? Okay, well, just how about your life? What are some things you do that would fall into quadrant 4?
Would just be random surfing the net. You just,
Yeah, absolutely.
You shouldn't do it, but you say, I give myself a break.
Yeah.
doing social media there.
There's
Shopping.
shopping or
Yeah. Yeah. Internet
Right.
shopping.
I would say reading or something like that.
Okay, so reading for fun. All right, awesome. So these are the pebbles in Scott's activity, the things that you fit in when you absolutely have time, when you have all of the other quadrants implemented, okay? All right, so now I need a brave volunteer. This comes with extra candy. Becky, come on up.
It's fine, I didn't want to write anyway.
Get your nice hands. Okay, Becky.
Yes.
Now here's the situation. You are planning a party, okay? It's a big party. There are 300 people coming to this party. It can be any kind of party you want, a holiday party, a company party, a birthday party, but there's 300 people and you are planning this party, okay? And you can use, somebody give me Becky's notes. So you can use your notes to figure this out. Okay. So I'm going to give you a task, okay? and I want you to tell me which quadrant this task would fall into, okay?
Okay.
All right, so example number 1, are you ready?
Yes.
So we are 4 months away from the party. 4 months away. The task I'm going to give you is invitations. You have to send out invitations. Now think about it. Is this important and is it urgent?
It's not urgent because you have 4 months to do it, but it's important because it needs to be done so people know you have a party.
Ding, ding, ding. Awesome. So that's quadrant 2. Good job. All right. Here's the next task. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, so you are 3 days away. There are 300 people coming to this party. I just want to remind you of that. No stress. And you're scrolling through Pinterest or social media, and you see these adorable handmade party favors. And you think it would be a great idea to make these for all of your party guests. Okay? Is this...
I would say it's not urgent and it's not important because your party will go on without it.
Okay, I see your point. I'm going to challenge you a little bit. Is there a time frame on this?
Yes.
Okay, so you would have to get about 100 party favors done each day, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a sense of urgency, but it's not important because if Becky doesn't make these party favors, the party's still going to go on. It's still going to be a great time for her guests. So which quadrant would that fall into?
I guess I'm going to quadrant 3.
Thank you. Good job. Give Becky a hand. All right, I need another brave volunteer. You stole one of my signs. Okay, come on up, Jameson. All right. So I have some bad news for you. You're planning a party too, okay? I have some bad news though. It's 2 days away. Your party's 2 days away. And the person who owns the venue you're planning on having this party at calls you and tells you the venue burnt down. There's no venue. What quadrant does this fall in? Okay, why is it important and why is it urgent?
You have to find a new place within the time frame, and you also have to tell your guests that you have a new venue.
Absolutely. Good job, Jameson.
Thanks.
All right, one more task. I'm sure it's going to be really hard for you to figure out which quadrant this falls into. Okay, so we're 2 days before your party. The only thing you have left to do is to clean the venue. Okay? That's all. But you decide you don't really want to clean the venue. So the task that you come up with is that you want to change the menu, even though you already have a perfectly good menu, right? But you just don't really want to clean the venue. So what quadrant will this fall into?
3.
4, quadrant 4. Why is that?
Because it's not important, nor is it urgent for you to change the venue.
Great, it's just a time meter, right? Good job, Jameson.
Thanks.
All right. So now that I have taught you a little bit about organizing and categorizing your tasks, Ryan over here is going to tell you how to prioritize them.
All right, I'm going to give you 9 tips for effective time management. I need 9 volunteers, or in this case, Scott. Can you hold up each sign as you go? All right, Scott, every time I say a number, he's going to hold up a new sign. They're in order, and everyone will scream them out when he holds one up. All right, the first tip is to make a list. Everyone scream it.
Make a list.
There we go. All right. It's important to make a list to know exactly what you need to do within a day, within a week, or within a month. And then the second tip is to
Set deadlines.
Come on, we need louder than that. I can barely hear you. Say it again.
Set deadlines.
There we go. How many of you have an agenda book or a planner? Anything you guys use? Becky use?
Yeah.
How do you use it?
Write in everything you have to do for that day.
Right, and then you put it on the date it's due, and you have your deadlines there. And then for number 3,
Prioritize your tasks.
yeah, and this is important with setting an agenda book. You are able to prioritize, you get a rough estimate on how long a project's going to take you, or a task is going to take you, and then you prioritize to what you're going to do first, second, third, and so forth. And number 4 is stop multitasking. I can barely hear you. Come on, we need louder than that.
Stop multitasking.
Whether it's when you're doing homework, watching TV, every time you look up to watch 15 minutes of TV, you lose that 15 minutes. If you do that every hour, you're losing how much time? A lot of time. So it's important to stop multitasking when you're doing this. And then number 5 is
Delegate responsibilities.
yes, it is when you're working within a group or a club, it's important to delegate the responsibility so that one person is not doing all the work. this can be a lot less time consuming. And number 6,
Use your downtime.
use your downtime, exactly. Whenever if you want to go hang out with friends, if you have some spare time, get ahead on something. One of those tasks that's farther down the road, if you just chunk it out, then it'll be that much less time consuming. And for number 7,
Take a break when needed.
you need to it's important to take a 15-minute break, 10-minute break once in a while so that you are able to get your brain refreshed, ready to go, more motivated, as we learned earlier. So, number 8.
Plan each day.
Yes, plan each day in an exact way that you want to do it. If it's doing homework, you want to do it after school or before school, do exactly, step by step. If it's class schedule, that's what class schedule is exactly for. Plan your day. And then number 9.
Practice the 10-minute rule.
Yes, this is just work on a dreaded task that you have throughout the day for 10 minutes each day. And you'll chunk out, if you work, say 5 days on it, 5 days in a week, work on it for 10 minutes, you chunk out 50 minutes of that project right there, and that's 50 minutes less you have to do.
Oh yeah, those are the 2 we were going to do today.
Oh, okay. Then you're going to move on. Okay.